Hello everyone, and welcome to my Days of Our Lives official. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Sarah was astounded to discover Fiona at a table in Horton Town Square, sipping a martini. Fiona toasted her freedom and said that the DA had dismissed the charges when Sarah questioned her, incredulously, what she was doing there. Fiona told Sarah that her lawyer had persuaded EJ not to pursue the lawsuit because Sarah was shocked by the news. Fiona lifted her glass and credited Sarah with her good fortune when Sarah questioned how it could have happened. Fiona made fun of Sarah's perplexity and pointed out to her daughter-in-law that Sarah had altered her account several times. Fiona also sneered that Sarah's most recent story would not be accepted by a jury. Sarah retorted that Brady had also remembered Fiona as the driver, so it wouldn't be her word alone. Brady's testimony would have roughly the same weight as Sarah's, Fiona growled. Additionally, Fiona dismissed her confessions, claiming that she had denied making them and that they had not been turned over to the police. Sarah was horrified to learn that Fiona was unharmed. A sentimental Sarah questioned Fiona about what had become of the woman who had shown such tenderness to Xander and Victoria and who had professed to love her as if she were her own daughter. Fiona acknowledged that her bravado served as a buffer to prevent her from experiencing the hurt of Xander's rejection. She dreamed of becoming the mother Xander deserved one day. Fiona asked for a favor before Sarah went. Justin told Xander that an injunction had been filed and prevented him from signing Titan over to Kristen at the Kiriakis' estate. Xander thought that someone in the family must have done it while Kristen raged. Philip came in at that moment, and the brothers, who had just been reunited, exchanged a scowl. Philip declared that he would prevent Xander from discarding their family's heritage. He claimed that even Alex had been a step up from Xander, recalling how the last time he had been in town, he had thought Alex was his brother. Admire Days, B&B, General Hospital, or other soap operas. Participate in the discussion on our SC boards. To interact with fans and start a conversation right away, click here. After just a few months on the job, Philip reprimanded Xander for his readiness to sell their father's business. He vowed to prevent the agreement from happening, viewing Xander's submission to Stefano's degenerate daughter as an even bigger insult. When Xander argued that Philip had no claim to Titan, Philip argued that Xander was mistaken. In order to give the Kiriakis men time to resolve their family drama, Kristen broke up the dispute and declared that she was leaving. Again insisting that Philip had no claim, Xander begged Kristen not to depart. After giving Xander the first vial of the serum and instructing him to notify her when he was prepared to negotiate for the second vial, Kristen left. A furious Xander reminded his brother that Victor had left him out of the bequest and scolded Philip for his mischievous behavior. In response, Philip reminded Xander that Victor had been attempting to keep him safe at the time. The brothers kept arguing over Philip's rights. Victor had written a letter before he passed away, and Philip took it out. Victor wrote a letter to Philip apologizing for the new will, which Justin read. Victor had wanted to give Titan to Philip, but he felt he had no choice because Philip had been pronounced dead. Justin acknowledged that the letter may be used to challenge the will when Xander asked. Desperate to appeal to Philip's feeling of fraternity, Xander informed him that Titan was essential to Sarah's recovery. Philip adamantly declared that he would not abandon the lawsuit since it was not a chance in hell. Philip said he wasn't even sure the serum would be effective. Even if it did, he contended, his father's enterprise was not worth it. Philip then accused Xander of being responsible for Sarah's illness because he had not recognized that his mother was an alcoholic who had mowed down Xander's wife. A furious Xander sprang at Philip. After Justin intervened, Xander vowed that Philip would cover the cost and hurried out of the room. Philip forced Justin to acknowledge that Victor would be appalled at the ceding of his family's heritage to a sworn enemy, despite Justin's condemnation of his harsh remarks. When Sarah got home later, she saw Xander thinking back on the day's events. When Sarah told him that Fiona was out of jail, his day took a turn for the worst. She then gave Xander his mother's letter, in which Fiona expressed regret and her plan to move out of town. As he processed the information, Xander readied himself to share his experience with Philip with Sarah. Brady hugged Eric at John and Marlena's house and thanked his brother warmly for clearing him. Brady and Eric were both relieved that the true criminal had been found. Brady still felt bad, though, because he was the reason Fiona was in the automobile. Brady was persuaded by Eric to get over his guilt. Brady thought it may be simpler because Sarah might soon receive positive news from Kristen. Brady told Eric about Kristen's arrangement with Xander and Rolf's creation of a serum. Eric thought it out of character and questioned Kristen's assertion that she would still keep the agreement. Brady stood up to meet a knock at the door and supported the claim that Kristen had been full of surprises. Kristen was the one. As Brady and Eric said their final goodbyes with sincerity, Kristen entered the house and settled herself on the couch. Before leaving for the airport, Eric said farewell to Kristen in a less amenable manner. After they were alone, Kristen told Brady that she had come to give him a new automobile since she had had his previous one wrecked. Brady brought up Kristen's overture to Xander and Sarah after grudgingly accepting the present. Brady questioned Kristen about if she still planned to keep her half of the bargain now that he was free. Kristen did not specify the new conditions of her contract with Xander, but she did demur and imply that she would. Stefan promised Stefano's portrait at the Demera estate that he would fight for his marriage. Stefan was choked to unconsciousness by a man wearing a mask who crept up behind him. The man's mask came off, revealing Vivian's manservant, Ivan. Vivian walked confidently into the room at that moment and praised Ivan on a job well done. Ivan called Vivian Madam, but she insisted that since they had been together for years, he should call her Vivian. Vivian's suggestion was rejected by Ivan, who thought it was improper. She was happy to be in cahoots again with Ivan and told him to make sure Stefan was still alive. Vivian complained about her draconian tactics, but Ivan reassured her that Stefan had a weakness for Gabby, therefore the scheme had been for his benefit. Stefan was still unconscious when Vivian assured him that she would keep him from becoming a victim of that cuckolding shrew. Scanning the divorce documents, Vivian chastised her son for giving Gabby too much. Ivan persuaded Madam against altering the agreement's conditions since doing so would be dangerous. Vivian signed the documents, put them in the mail with Stefan's wedding ring, and proudly declared forging to be one of her great talents. Ivan had been a great help to Vivian, and the two agreed to keep Stefan and Gabby apart because of this. Later, it was in the car's trunk that Stefan came to. At first, he was relieved to see Ivan as he looked up. After learning that his mother had orchestrated his kidnapping, Stefan's gratitude was short-lived. When he inquired about Vivian's plans, Ivan clarified that Madam wished to send Stefan back to the motherland, Alemania, in order to liberate him from Gabby. As Ivan shut the trunk, Stefan fought futilely against his bonds. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.